Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's interview. I'm Ruth from Something to Play For, and today we have a very special guest, Nicolette Caneda, known not only for her impressive skills on the soccer field, but also playing as a midfield and forward for Division One Manhattan College, and for her remarkable contributions to mental health advocacy and support for fellow athletes. So, Nicolette, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. I'm really excited to be talking with you today. And yeah, just excited to get started.
All right, well, fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. We've kept up with all the amazing work that you've been doing, truly inspirational. And everyone, make sure to check out her heavy involvement in initiatives like Morgan's Message, The Hidden Opponent, Mental Health in Manhattan College, Strong Girls United, and All In Athletes. These programs are crucial for supporting athletes in both their sports and personal lives. So, thank you for joining us today again, Nicolette. For the first question, could you share your story with us, where you're from, what initially got you playing soccer, and the journey that led you to play Division One soccer at Manhattan College?
Yeah, so I'm from Long Island, New York, and my dad, my grandfather, and my uncle all played soccer like their whole life. So it was kind of chosen for me that I was going to play soccer. It just kind of helped that I immediately fell in love with it. I realized that I'm extremely competitive from a very young age. So I knew that I definitely wanted to take soccer seriously and bring it as far as I could. And for me, I knew that was the Division One level. So I my dad always tells me when I was younger, like I would say like I want to play Division One, and he was like, "All right, let's do it." And I just kind of asked him how much work I need to put in, when I needed to do it, how I was going to do it, and he really helped me get here. So
Okay, well, that's amazing. You're continuing the family lineage, so
hmm
that's great. Could you describe now your recruitment process and offer your advice to aspiring athletes looking to play at college level?
Yeah, so my recruiting process, I think went up very differently than it is going currently. I think right now it's a lot better than it was before when I was getting recruited because a lot of the commits that were like committing at my age were doing it a little too early, I think, in my opinion. Like I committed as a sophomore in high school. I did end up exactly where I belong. Like I made the right decision, but I do think I was really young, but I was playing up a year. So I was around people who were juniors in high school who were committing. And I was like, kind of like, I need to do this. I feel like I'm too far behind my teammates and my friends. But my recruiting process was basically a ton of ID camps, a ton of emails, a ton of showcase tournaments. So I would do as many ID camps as I could for schools that I maybe didn't even think I wanted to go to. I would email almost every coach on the East Coast for every tournament and just try to have exchanges as much as possible to kind of learn how to talk with a coach and ask questions, see what different programs were about, see what they wanted in an athlete. And I think that having those conversations and really practicing with schools that you didn't really think that you want to go to really helps you build the confidence to get on a phone call with the coach that is really important to you. So I do definitely recommend like trying to talk to as many coaches as possible, and emails, do them all the time. Keep sending them. I know you may think you're getting annoying, and my coach now kind of like we laugh about it now, but I would email just so much, and he just always knew who I was because my name was always in his inbox. But I committed here and now I'm playing here, so it works, and you're not annoying. It's part of the process, and I highly recommend to email a ton.
That's great advice and some serious determination.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure you learned a lot, like you said. You had this fundamental knowledge of how to reach out to people then and get to those opportunities instead of just waiting for those to come back to you. So that's good. That's great.
Thank you.
Okay, so what does a typical day look like for you at Division One level, balancing academics, athletics, and your impactful, extracurricular activities?
Yeah, so during the fall season in Division One, you're obviously going full time. you're in season, it's important stuff happening all around you in class, even on the field. So, like, balancing classes and soccer during the fall is, like, so crucial because you always wanna stay ready mentally and physically. So I try to work in, and this is all throughout the year, I live by my Google Calendar. So I try to, like, schedule in even, like, the most minuscule things. So if I know I have an assignment due on Friday and I have a midweek game on Wednesday, I'm scheduling it in time to go to the library and complete that assignment. And when I tell people that, some people think I'm crazy, but I think it's helped me a ton because I can just like see how it works into my classes, my extracurriculars, my practice times, my lift times. So spreading it out throughout your week and like scheduling in like an actual library time is has really helped me. And I think like I haven't heard that advice given out a lot, and I think that it should be. And I started doing that, I think, like, my freshman year spring, but if I had it my freshman year, like, the fall of my freshman year, I think I would have done a lot better in that semester. So I definitely recommend that, but a typical day would be classes, and I usually have 2 to 3 classes in a day, usually, like, a heavier day would be 3 and then, like, 2 for a normal day. And then practices from 2 to 4 during the week of the fall, and then you sprinkle in lifts within that. And usually we lift right after our practices. Um, Another thing I highly recommend, like actually incorporating into your schedule, is like your recovery time. When are you going to see the trainer? When are you getting the help you need? When are you stretching and like doing the extra stuff? Because that's also something that goes kind of like over your head sometimes. And my biggest thing is scheduling in all the extra things that you think you have enough time for, you might not. And having it in your schedule just kind of like ensures that you get it done.
Well, that's solid advice. Definitely
Thank you.
not very common. But yeah, it's nice that you bring up all these like little things that people might not think about. It's great that you prepare for those.
Thank you.
And Nicolette, how important do you think mentorship is for young athletes?
I think mentorship is extremely important and oftentimes not really thought about because like everyone has to go through their process and you think you kind of just have to do it alone. But when you have somebody who's gone through it and who's willing to help you and guide you, it's just like a breath of fresh air and such a weight off your shoulders when you have somebody just holding you accountable for either did you email those coaches for the showcase you have this weekend, or did you try to get in some extra touches this week on something you're trying to work on? Like, I'm a mentor for 2 different programs, one that's on my campus and one that is Strong Girls United, and I've heard so much from my mentees that, like, just that little text of, like, "Hey, just checking in. Did you get, like, the thing that you wanted to get done that we spoke about done?" And it's just, like, having that one person that will just remind you and hold you accountable is extremely important. And even me, when I had a mentor, um, I don't think like I had a mentor during like the recruiting process. My coaches were wonderful like during club soccer. But it's different when you have somebody that is like similar in age who has done it before. When I met people who have actually gone through the recruiting process and a teammate who actually went here, I started talking to her a lot after I had committed, and she really took so much like of like that uneasy thought of like what does it really mean, like what is my day going to look like. um Talking, reaching out and asking those questions, it was really helpful. So I think everyone should have some sort of mentor figure.
Yeah, definitely. It's important to have that guidance. And, it's very inspiring that you, at such a young age, started being a mentor for other young athletes. So, congrats to you for that. That's
Thank you.
very, very inspiring.
Thank you.
Lastly, what words of encouragement would you offer for your younger self and the next generation?
So I loved this question. I think like I was thinking back to kind of what I was always thinking, and I just always was thinking, even now I'm guilty of it, and I think we all are when we want to play at a high level and we've been athletes and like always like pushing, pushing, pushing for the next thing. Um, the biggest thing that I wish I did more, and I wish I do more, like, I have to practice what I preach, is just, like, celebrating every single thing that you accomplish. Like, you need to step back and look at all the work that you did to get you to that point. Be proud of yourself and let it fuel you to the next thing. Don't let it just be a part of, like, something that you did that you don't bring with you into the next thing. It's important to, like, make it push you, but always be proud of, like, the great thing that you just did, because when we're always rushing to, like, get better and it's like go, 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 it's you can get kind of lost in, like, well, what have I done? Have I accomplished anything? And you have. It's just like sometimes we let them kind of go over our head. So definitely celebrating any sort of accomplishment, and then also finding confidence in the fact that you're doing all the work that you need to do. Because I think, like, a lot of the time for athletes, confidence comes from coaches and, like, fans and, like, outside sources. If you're confident that you did the work and you did as much as you could to, like, put you in the best possible place to succeed, like, always celebrate that work and be confident in that. I would definitely live by that, and if I could do it all over again, try to be more conscious of that.
No, definitely. It's something that you can forget when you're caught up with this, whole. I know it's pretty intensive as an athlete to just be prepared to, the next thing, and it's like continuous preparation, And yeah, it's definitely too important to recognize even the smallest achievement because, yeah, it's part of you. That's what you accomplished. And those small achievements will eventually lead you to even bigger things. So yeah, it's
Mhm.
great to appreciate everything.
I agree.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. We really appreciate you coming on the podcast today. And, we're all looking forward to your upcoming endeavors. So that wraps up today's episode with Nicolette. Thank you all for tuning in and stay tuned, guys, for the
Thank
next
you.
podcast interviews. Something to play for.